This video is about feeling your soul. The thing is, when we think about the soul, usually it's a very mental kind of thing. There have been endless philosophical debates in various religions about what the soul is. If it's not a mental thing, it is an emotional thing. Like we're overcome with certain spiritual feelings, maybe tears are involved in that revelation. And so I would say most of the time, the attempt to kind of get in touch with the soul is either done on a mental, intellectual level, or it's done on an emotional level in worship and through various ceremonies, whatever. But I want to give you a little bit more of a tactile, body-centric feeling of what the soul is, but we do need to use the mind to understand the point first. So, I like to think of the soul as an aspect, kind of a localized aspect of all that is, that's also tuned in and a part of all that is. And since there is no such thing as really a part of all that is, because it's just all that is, basically your soul is the creator within. It's the God within, the spirit within, whatever you want to call it. But think of it this way, that creation is the magical act of nothing becoming something. So the grand magical act of nothing becoming something is the Big Bang. Now, the Big Bang is basically the feeling, if you tune into it, and it's not about figuring it out in your mind first, you just have to feel it. It's that feeling of nothing into something, and it's happening all the time. One way to think of it is, it's the only thing that's ever happening. It's the only thing that exists, is nothing into something. Now, the feeling of nothing into something, the feeling of pure creation in the body, is similar to the feeling of pure excitement. It's that excitement with anticipation, and throw in a little bit of orgasmic explosion energy in there too. And that is kind of what it is. So what you really are is this creation of nothing into something. And it's an ongoing nothing into something that's happening every millisecond. That is your true identity. That is your soul. That is the divine God, the Big Bang. Now, if we think of that there's no time, then we can imagine that the Big Bang is happening now. You are happening now. Your soul is happening now. It's all now. So it's all just this act of somehow this somethingness magically emerged out of nothing. How the hell did that happen? How is it happening right now? And then everything else is kind of derivative of that. It's like somebody asks you a question and you answer quickly. And maybe it's a weird answer, maybe it's a brilliant answer, but they think, somebody says, "Why did you say that?" And it's like, I don't know. That's just what came out. So that's one way to feel it. That thing of where something just comes out. It's like you didn't even do it. It just, something emerged out of nothing. And the whole thing of this something coming out of nothing is it's the pure essence of creativity, of divine creation. And you're never doing it. The you that is the ego, that is the identity, is never doing that. But it does generally take credit milliseconds after the act. So think of it as like when popcorn is about to pop, or when an orgasm is about to happen. There's that kind of build-up, and that build-up is excitement, for lack of a better word, but I think it's a pretty damn good one. And then that excitement builds, and then there's the explosion. It could be just the explosion of a kernel of corn turning into a piece of popcorn. Or it could be the explosion of something smaller than an atom turning into the universe. Or it could be the explosion of getting a brilliant idea. Or having an amazing realization. So if you feel in your body, by tuning into that idea, using popcorn, orgasm, Big Bang, whatever you want to use, artistic, creative inspiration, that is the essence of soul. And one thing about that essence of soul, it's not really accountable. If you look at kids playing, and they're kind of going crazy, they're going berserk, they're running around all over the place, coming up with all kinds of stuff. Okay, you do this, and then I'll do that, and then, there's a craziness, there is a kind of a carefree energy, and it's something that if you ask the kid, why'd you do that? What made you decide upon that course of action? They're just going to look at you like you don't get it. And that's a lot of why we have issues, because we don't get it, because we don't hang out in that energy that is what we are. It is what everything is, and it's always there. But it's like we as egos, as personalities, identities, it's like we're living a couple steps removed from it, even though that's really just all that we are. And so feel in your body that there is a kind of bubbling up energy. That's one way I feel it. An excited anticipation type of energy. And it's exciting. It's excited. And it has that, what would I call it? That resilience of zero self-doubt. So that energy just explodes outwards like the Big Bang, the way the sun shines. And it doesn't turn around and look at itself. That is what I would call a derivative energy, which is fine too. It's part of the creation. It's that part in the beginning of Genesis. God creates the world, the universe, whatever. And then he looks at it over and says something like, "Behold, it is good." Okay, that is kind of the human consciousness level that is one or two steps beyond that primal explosion, excitement level of soul. So, what I would recommend doing is sitting down and asking your soul to show you itself. All you have to do is, "Hey, soul, show me yourself. Show me this thing Andy was talking about." And then just feel it in your body. Don't try to feel it. It's just notice it's already there. It is something you can feel. And what my intuition is saying, and maybe this is just for certain people, it's like the silence is always there behind the sound. And you could listen for it. And that could be a meditation. Listen to the silence that is behind the sound. Same kind of energy, same kind of idea. Feel that feeling of nothing that comes, that is behind the something, the creation. Feel the nothing just about to burst into something. And just sit in that energy and let that become part of your identity. Let that become the foundation of your identity. But don't do it so much mentally, like this, now I have decided that the foundation of my identity is the feeling of nothing about to turn into something. Okay, let's not make a religion. Okay, this is just a thing that when you clear issues, when you clear reactive patterns, as you cleanse energetically and raise your frequency, that's what remains. That is like the light that's been shining the whole time, but you couldn't see it because there was a bunch of mud on the flashlight. But when you cleared off that mud, there it is, shining. Okay? And that's what your soul is. So this is one way to experience the soul. Try it. Let me know how it works in the comments. And if you have any questions for me to do a follow-up video, I'd love to see those questions. Thanks so much. Have a great day.